Hey, it's Mike DelSignore. In this video, I want to talk about what happens if you're charged with domestic assault and battery. What happens at the pretrial conference date? So you've gone to the arraignment and your next court date is for a pretrial hearing. What's going to happen at that court date if you're charged with a domestic assault and battery? So I handle these cases all over Massachusetts, and I'll tell you, the first court date's the arraignment. The next date after is your pretrial date. At that date, the government is going to give any additional evidence that they have in the case. This could be a 911 call, a supplemental reports, or additional information about witnesses. So at your pretrial conference for domestic assault and battery, it's not your trial. So a lot of people think these cases move much faster. So your first court date's the arraignment, second court date's pretrial conference. So at the pretrial conference, the DA's got to give all the evidence. It could be a video, and maybe if you made a statement during booking, there could be a video statement. But typically, it's maybe just a 911 recording, and that can be key evidence in a domestic assault and battery case because potentially the government could try to prosecute the case just based on a 911 call. In other words, there's some law from our United States Supreme Court that says that a 911 call is what they call non-testimonial. So that means it can come into evidence even if the person who made the statement on the call doesn't wish to testify. So that can be important because typically in a domestic assault and battery case, or I would say in the vast majority of these cases, the alleged victim does not want to prosecute the case. So often it's a girlfriend, a wife, it could be a child. So usually the victim is not on board. If the parties are married, there's a marital privilege. And if the other party potentially could have been charged with criminal conduct, there's a Fifth Amendment privilege. But your most common situation, I say, is aside from the husband-wife situation, is a boyfriend-girlfriend. So there's no privilege. So let's say the girlfriend doesn't want to testify. Generally, they're not going to force this person to testify, but they can try to see if they have a 911 call. They'll get the call, and they'll see if that qualifies as an excited utterance under the law. If it does, that can be used at court at trial. So they can just present the 911 call and the testimony of the officer and any statements you made to prosecute the case. So that information will be disclosed at the pretrial hearing date. So there can be more than one pretrial date. So usually what I would do is I would try to put this on for bench trial. The DA may object to a quick trial date, say, well, we have other discovery we need to get. We want a further pretrial date to make sure we have everything. But so you can have one or two pretrial dates, and then the next court date would be your trial date. At the bench trial date, that's your opportunity to get the case dismissed. Typically, DAs will not dismiss these cases prior to a trial date. That's because domestic assault and batteries happen all the time, and the DAs are very cautious about making sure they don't dismiss these cases quickly. They want to make sure that they've conducted every opportunity to prosecute the case before they would dismiss a domestic assault and battery. And that applies regardless of court. I handle cases in Attleboro, Dedham, Westboro, pretty much all over Massachusetts. So all the DAs treat these the same. They're going to wait generally for the trial date before any decision will be made about whether the case will be dismissed. Typically on the trial date, and I try to put these on for bench trial, so it gives you, if for some reason the victim is on board and we didn't expect it, it gives us sort of a way to request a further date. So what happens on the bench trial date is the DA might answer not ready for trial. We would move to dismiss the case, but it takes some time. So keep in mind, if you're charged with this, to be patient. These cases often do get dismissed. If you accept a plea on a domestic case, often you'd be looking at doing a batter's program, anger management. And at a pretrial date, it is possible to resolve the case. You can always enter into a plea. That's the purpose of pretrial hearings. But many clients want dismissals on these cases and don't want to admit to them. There could be a case where it's serious and they could possibly prove it. Yeah, we would try to work out the best resolution we can. So if you have any questions about a domestic assault and battery case, the court process, what happens next, feel free to contact me. My name is Mike DelSignore. I handle domestic assault and battery cases all over Massachusetts. You can call, text anytime. 781-686-5924. I'm here to help you. Call, text anytime.